And I believe we are live. I'm not 100% on that, but I believe we are now live. It's only because the game has taken a very, very long time to load in. Once again, I've gone very trigger happy. Apologies everyone for the long starting soon screen. Tier 1 took absolutely ages to ready up. And Maxim Jet Atom has already left. Would you mind getting him back in while
I am on
just introduce the stream?
I'm on
Thank you very much. So, good evening everyone. Welcome to Silverstone and welcome to Safe Space Racing. And as always on a Friday evening, we've got Tier 1 for you. Our very fastest drivers in the league, plus a couple of reserves, who would also probably say they're the fastest drivers as well, but we'll find out tonight. We shall, and this is round 13 of a 15 round calendar, which means that tonight could be a very exciting night. We could crown we could crown 3 champions. We could crown a champion to our drivers championship, constructors championship, and also our fastest lap championship as well. So all 3 things that we are going to keep an eye on. But before we do that, and before we go into all the numbers and everything like that, let me just introduce my co-commentator alongside me and myself, Bascom62, is the one and only Formula Maxim, and we are reunited for the first time in a while. And as the famous song goes, reunited, and it feels so good.
Yes, sir. Shalom, everyone. Shalom, Senor Bascombe. Yeah, an exciting evening ahead. And what a setting. Silverstone Circuit doesn't get much better than this, in my opinion, when it comes to motorsport. This is the venue. This is the race I look out for every year in real life, so yeah, excited to be here. Looks like CKFFC is looking to be first across that timing line and get a lap in. He looks pretty eager.
Yeah, on his debut, which is a bit late in the season to make your debut, but he's joined the Discord. He's had a test race. He's looked very quick in his test race. We've got a yellow flag early on. I think it's just some guys jostling for position, and he's CKFFC. Is that? I don't know. I'm miles away from the screen, which is not great. But he's making his debut in the Haas. So good luck to him, and we're following him now because he is on a lap, coming up with some traffic early on. But obviously the big news tonight, Maxim, is that we have many championships to figure out, and Axe F1 is the guy who can win the Drivers' Championship tonight. There's plenty of permutations, if you like, that we can go through, but to keep it very simple for everyone watching, $10 must outscore Axe by 6 points, and if he doesn't, Axe is champion. And I completely agree with you. If you're going to win a championship, this is the place to do it.
Yes.
As CKFFC runs miles wide, and that's his lap done. So let's flick over to someone else. But yeah, go on about Axe.
Budweiser's has just lost it at coming out of Cox by the looks of things.
Oh, on his outlap.
Yeah.
Tyres are well overheated now.
It's a weird corner. If you've got cold tyres and you're going through Cox and you're not running a lot of rear wing, that corner's going to bite, unfortunately, and it looks like that's happened. So you have to pit for the front wing. No times in as of yet.
No, well, $10 is coming. I think Charisma's going to be first. We're going to keep an eye on $10. We mentioned him earlier. CC or whatever his name is went wide, and that's not a representative time. But 10's going to set the first representative time across the line. 1:24.7, not bad. Not going to be anywhere near pole, I don't think. Last season's pole 1:24.1. We also had a 1:24.1 last week in Tier 2. So the big question for me, Max, is are we going to see a sub 1:24 tonight? I think that might be a target for a few of these guys.
Maybe, but you would have to hook it up perfectly. And the thing about Silverstone, there's a lot of corners where if you don't nail it and you don't nail that exit, you will lose a lot of time going down a couple of long straights. So it does bite this circuit. But I'd like to see a low 24. But yeah, we'll keep an eye on it.
TTM Mitch has gone in with a 1:24.5. We're going to see Stenna cross the line in just a moment. Jet Atom's back in, which is good news. And Senna goes P2, 1:24.6, 1/10 off the pace. We're going to go all the way down now to the bottom because Axe is on a lap, and Axe has run very wide towards the final corner, across the line, down in P11. So Axe's actual qualifying struggles continue a little bit. Yet to qualify in the top, or hasn't qualified in the top 8 in the last 4 races. But he'll be the person most relieved to see me and you back in the booth, Maxim, because he hasn't won since the last time we commentated together. He hasn't won any of the last 3 races, which will give 10 a bit of confidence. But he's down in P12 early on. Monkey pits, so I believe it's just Arthur on a lap right now.
On the mediums.
Yeah, not really the play. You can see only Craig Conley, the other guys, set a time on the mediums yet. I mean, it's a comfortable one stop starting on the softs. I guess the only question, if you start on the softs inside the top 10, is can you go to the mediums or can you go to the hards? What do you think?
I'm not too sure what strategies have been.
Oh, Arthur has lost it through cops, tried to go flat out and got the line a little bit wrong. He hasn't got any damage other than a bit of a bruised ego as he slides into the gravel on the outside of cops. And that's his lap on the medium. That's those mediums pretty much ruined. Probably see a few cars go through. And unfortunately for Arthur, we caught that in 4K.
Yes, I was just talking to him about 20 minutes ago when he was practicing and he lost it at that very corner, so obviously the practice didn't pay off.
Easily
but
done.
He'll go
Easily
again.
done.
Yeah. So strategy wise, soft and medium is optimal here,
Yeah.
but safe would be soft to hard, but I reckon most of these guys will do soft and medium.
Let's see, certainly the guys outside the top 10. Obviously some strategies there, but we'll see, and obviously safety car comes into play as well. Just make let's know on the mic situation, guys. Paddy's saying Maxim's lagging a little bit. Amazon came in clutch with a next day delivery mic for my co-commentator, so hopefully it's not too bad. Maybe it's just his tone of voice.
We got Budweiser, a couple of people on our laps, a couple of people on our laps. Budweiser is bombing down the Wellington Straight, coming into great
GB
complex
just in
here.
front of him, also on a lap. GB reserving in the AlphaTauri, so we'll follow him and then check in with Budweiser. TTM Mitch, after everyone's, or most people's first runs, as GB lifts a little through cops on provisional pole, 124.5. I think we'll see a couple of guys dip under that. Brazy in the chat saying he thinks we're going to see a 123. I tend to agree with Maxim. Someone's going to have to really hook it up to do that. We've seen over the last few weeks that the top of tier 2 is very similar to tier 1. Has Budweiser had an incident? Yeah, Budweiser's gone off in the same section that Arthur did. So that's the second time Budweiser did that. He did that on his outlap. So that's 2 sets of tyres that Budweiser has rinsed through early on, unfortunately. And let's see, GB runs wide and that's a slam on the brakes into club. We saw Axe take a similar line. GB 125.9, plenty of time just in that last corner that we saw there. Up into P11 alongside his teammate, or not teammate actually, Craig Conley's in the Red Bull. Maestro is GB's teammate. Yeah, close enough. But we are seeing a lot of guys now out on their second runs. Who shall we keep an eye on? Shall we have a look at Zampa?
Yes.
Coming down the Wellington Straight. And he was saying to me earlier that it's been a bit of a painful season. Down, I think, 30 odd points he's on. But he's been there every week and no complaints about the speed of some of the other guys. And hopefully in one of these last 3 races we can see him right up. We saw him in Bahrain, didn't we? The last race we did together. He qualified like 4th, was it?
Yeah.
And then literally went sideways off the line. Quite literally went sideways off the line, which ruined that particular race. But let's see what he can do here. I've just realised I don't have the lap delta on, which is making it very difficult for me to know how he's getting on. He comes up to the end of sector 2.
Straight,
1:07.59. Any idea if that's good or not? We'll find out.
Yes, time will tell. CKFFC.
I was just about to have a drink and then I realised we've got a new pole time.
Whoa. Yeah, beats TTM Mitch by 300ths of a second. It's quite impressive. Sampa comes around the last corner. Jumps to 8.
Not bad at all. In the 124, I think you're getting the 124s. That's in the top 10. Good enough for a top 10 at the minute.
Very respectable.
Who else is on our lap? Ultra Titan Where's Mitch? Mitch is just behind Ultra Titan, so let's keep an eye on the... No, we won't, because Ultra's invalidated. But while we're talking about Ultra Titan, let's move on to the Constructors' Championship. We mentioned Axe can win the drivers tonight in the Renault, and his teammate Ultra Titan has backed him up pretty well in the Constructors, because Renault can also win that tonight. They need to come out of this race with a 110 point lead, and they currently lead Racing Point by 105.5 points. So they get 5 more points than Racing Point. They will win the Constructors, as long as Ferrari or Red Bull don't have a bit of a madness of a race. That's something else to keep an eye on. So who is in the Racing Point? Who have we got in the Racing Point? Is that TT
Haters, yeah. A lone Racing Point.
Just the one Racing Point, so that makes things pretty difficult for them. So let's see then. Mitch is going to cross the line. Can he retake pole? He does. That's the lap time we've been looking for. 124.118. Just 1,000th of a second off last week's Tier 2 pole time. So Tier 2 still currently leading the way, but it's very, very close, or between those two. It's not very close at the top right now, because Mitch is 0.4 of a second in front. What can $10 do at the end of Sector 2? Let's check his time in the top right. 0.2 better off. So that's going to be good enough for P3 right now. He's going to be looking for at least the front row as he goes around. Just, yeah, stays in the track limits curve on the outside into Vale. 2 corners to go, a bit of a lock-up, but we see Tier 1 lock-ups galore every week. Nice little line around the final corner. Where can he go? He does go P3. It's actually a really good final sector, but it wasn't as good as Parox Kings' final sector, who nips in front. And talking of good final sectors, TTM Stenner then goes P2. So 3 guys putting in very, very good laps in very quick succession. We've got a TTM front row right now, Mitch and Stenner, and Kings and $10 on the next row. And I was just about to flick down to Axe, and he's already put a lap in before I could get there. He's gone P2. So we've had 4 guys go into P2 in quick succession. Axe the latest one, and that's a good lap from him. Still a couple of attempts shy of pole, but we're going to have a real battle on our hands for the last runs in a couple of minutes. Good lap times there, Maxim, from the top 5.
Yes, times that I could only dream of setting. That's for sure. I think I'd be down there with a GB at the moment if I was in this, but yeah. One day, hey, one day.
One day indeed. Everyone who is saying they're on a lap is invalidated, other than GB. We're going to go on board with GB, making, I believe, his first Tier 1 appearance of the season. And he's a last-minute reserve. Let's see what he can do. Yet to... Oh, no, he has set a lap time, sorry. Just Budweiser yet to set a lap after we saw him ruin a couple of sets of tyres. So pressure's on the Mercedes driver in a minute. GB's a couple of attempts better off, but you can just see the difference a little bit, Maxim, can't you, in the corner speeds. I mean, no disrespect to GB's, it is a lot of fun to race with me and you, because we're all similar speeds, but when you compare his lines and speeds to some of these Tier 1 guys, you do see the difference.
Yeah, definitely. It's all different tiers, you know, race well together, but it's a bit different in quality as well.
Yeah. Well, GB was P3 on track last week, P4 overall, I think, if I remember rightly last week. Had a good battle with Steel Curtain for the last podium position. So he does like the track. Hopefully he can have a decent race as well. He's going to be maybe good enough for P15 if he can hook up the last sector. He's a couple of attempts up right now. Let's see if he can get a jump. And yeah, P15, I'll take that one.
There we go.
For GB, and Charisma then jumps him and ruins my prediction straight away. Charisma up to P15, also reserving. We've got Charisma at GB and Arthur and P13 reserving tonight, and like Maxim said earlier, CK FFC is making his debut tonight. So whilst we've got a bit of a lull, I'm just going to try and do something without breaking the stream. I'm just going to bring up the Tier 1 standings at the bottom there. Hopefully you guys can see that. I don't know if it's worked or not. I'm a bit of a boomer when it comes to this stuff. But as you can see, Axe leading the way to $10. Parox Kings a bit further back as well. But really that battle between Axe and $10, like we said, 10 needs to 6 more points than Axe to continue the championship on. You can see the constructors there as well. Big gap between Renault and Racing Point and Ferrari. But I'll just run through it. So if Axe was to come second tonight, then 10 would need to win and also get the fastest lap or the pole position. So even a second place for Axe tonight would make it pretty difficult for 10 to extend that championship. And obviously as Axe's potential finishing position goes down, as does 10's finishing position, that he needs to continue the championship. But we'll keep an eye on the maths for everyone in the chat. And we will do our best to keep everyone updated with that. We're seeing a few guys come out on their last run. So Maxim, I'm going to throw it over to you for a pole position prediction.
Axe with the 23.9.
23.
Yeah.
Oh wow, that's a big call. Guys in the chat, let us know your predictions. You can give us a time as well if you want. Do we think a sub 24? Maxim does think so. I'm going to go with Stenner. We saw him in Netherlands a while ago now throw an absolute belter of a pole position lap, and I think we could see. I'm going to suggest we might see something similar, but good to see TTM Mitch up there as well. We had last week SSR Hamilton, who's too tired to race this week, but last week he did throw a fantastic pole and win together for his first win of the season. So he's still recovering from he must have celebrated far too hard last week, and he is still recovering. And Ramisco agrees with me. He's saying Stenner for pole. Bradley Johnson, good to see you in the chat as well. I hope you're all good. He's saying a Mitch sub 24. We've got the gearbox glitch there. Apologies for that, guys. But yeah, so Bradley and Ramisco have gone for Mitch and Stenner respectively. Division's a couple attempts worse off on his final run at the minute, so he's probably not going to improve. But 12th, not terrible. Gets free choice of tyres for his next run. Let's see what he can do. He's actually in the pit lane, so Division's done. Maestro is on a lap. He's at the start, so we'll just flick away from him. Budweiser is on a lap as well. Actually, no, he set a lap on the mediums. I didn't notice that. When did that come through? Is he then going to dive into the pits? No, he's going to go again.
Interesting.
So Budweiser, we can say, is definitely not going to set a a top 10 lap time here, but we'll follow him over the line. Oh, and he barely gets over the line and stays P19. And Maestro is going to be your next one over the line.
So Axe is just starting his lap coming down the Hamilton Straight, as it's now called.
Oh, who was that? Zampa is in the gravel at where is that? That's around the hairpin.
That's over
at Woodcote.
Wellington.
No, that's down. That's at the hairpin. That's a weird one from Zampa there.
Okay.
And his tyres are very dead. And he's in the gravel again, Zampa. Oh, we'll switch off him. We'll switch off. Let's go to the battle for pole. So is Axe, Maxim, are we saying Axe is going to be the... Oh, what? Has 10 been disqualified? $10 has been disqualified.
Oh,
I can see him. He's at Woodcote as well, I think. Oh, that's gutting. And that is...
Arthur's off at
That's Arthur, is that? So 10's been disqualified. I think his car's back in the pit lane. Axe is invalidated, so he's not going to be on pole. But right now he's looking great for the championship. TTM Haters goes P5. Who's going to be first across the line? It's going to be Stenner. Mitch. Stenner hits the Alfa Romeo of Arthur. Oh my god.
Oh dear. That's going to be a very large penalty there, unfortunately. I'm going to record that, unfortunately.
We just caught on the stream. We come on to the vision of Stenner. We're just going to see Kings cross the line to go P2. So it's looking very good for Mitch right now. But we just caught on the stream there. Stenner just driving. And as we switched on to him, Arthur was just flying across the track. Nothing that Stenner could do. Axe is validated, I think. Ultra Titan moves up to P5. Good lap from him. But Mitch then... We've pretty much got pole, and he doesn't improve, but he doesn't need to, because Axe is in the gravel. Stenner, well, we saw what happened to Stenner, and we saw what happened to Arthur, who's currently stationary on the track. So that means then that for the second time this season, after a pole position in Baku round 3, as Arthur gets disqualified, second time this season, TTM Mitch is on pole, PayX Kings in P2, and the big news in the championship, as far as Drivers' Championship is concerned, Axe is in P3 and $10 is all the way down in P19 after a disqualification, which is gutting because they were very, very close. But what an end, Max, into that qualifying session.
Oh, Lord.
Yes. And Stenner, I think, had done a purple Sector 1 before that. I mean, the good news for Stenner, if there is any, is that he is still in the hunt. He starts P4, just run through the grid. Mitch and Kings, as we said, front row 1 and 2. Axe looking good for the title, P3. Stenner P4, and Renault looking really good for the constructors. Ultra Titan P5, just ahead of the Racing Point of Haters P6. Great debut from CKFFC P7, Husky P8, Monkey and Maestro round out the top 10. Zampa Division 11 and 12, Jet, Charisma, GB, Craig Conley down in P16, and Budweiser, the last of the guys to not be disqualified, down in P17. And unfortunately, $10, which we didn't see disqualified, Arthur, which we did see disqualified, is going to start from the back of the grid. And yeah, I've got a lot of pings. What's that for?
Oh my goodness.
Oh, it's Zampa. What is... Oh, Maxim, I've been informed to turn you down.
Yes.
Hopefully that solves the issue. Guys, let us know in the chat if it's not too bad. I mean, like I said earlier, it might just be his tone of
Nudge
voice.
it down a bit. Fun fact, that bridge doesn't exist yet. But it's near this. It's near this. They've basically got it in bits next to the circuit, ready to go. But that hotel just is half built. That's on the other side of the pit lane.
Oh,
That
wow.
is
There you go. Fun
Axe
facts.
with another early ready up.
Oh, no.
Axe.
What is he... Oh.
Right.
He's a quick
Time to-
racer, but he's shocking in the
Time to
pre-race
dot
screen.
points.
Oh, no. Well, we are going to go very quickly onto a formation lap, and hopefully the guys at the bottom of the grid got a chance to do their strategy. We can see most of them outside the top 10 are on the medium. Zampa, Budweiser and Arthur on the softs. Obviously everyone inside the top 10 is on the softs that they qualified on. Sandwiches in the chat, hope you're all good, mate. Is saying that Axe needs to go fast, and I'm sure he will do. But yeah, not great to see him ready up again. But I mean, we've seen him on plenty of occasions, Maxim, come from the back of the grid. But not great for the other guys because it means everyone can't sometimes get their strategies enabled. What data do we want?
Luckily, it's a bit straightforward in terms of strategy here,
Yeah,
so
true.
hopefully no one was wasn't too quick. But I love this circuit. I'm slow there, but I love it. My new place of work. Just got to drop that in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
nice. Let's have a look at the standing quick. As we go through the formation lap, hopefully that's worked. It's just gone. Yeah, there we go. So just standings on your screen, guys, as the drivers are going around their formation lap. Should be able to see tier 1s, 2 and 3 at some point across there. Obviously we'll get rid of that as soon as the guys form up. So Maxim, we've got Mitch and Kings stand in the way of Axe, guaranteeing a title. Are we expecting... I mean, he knows, he's seen the permutations. Are we expecting him to perhaps be a bit cautious off the line, Axe from P3?
He does play it really safe early on. I don't think he minds losing positions, but usually he gains positions, but he always makes it up towards the end.
Yeah.
Just how he rolls.
You saw a very brief screen there. That was... This is why I don't touch things. Is it working on your end?
Yeah, we're all good. We're all back.
Okay, good. Jesus Christ, I've got a shit camera angle. Here we go, that's a better one. So lights are going on then. We've got 5 red lights. I think. Have we? Now they're coming.
Mm-hmm.
5 red lights coming up. Mitch on pole on your right in the McLaren. Kings from P2 in your Red Bull. Keep an eye on Axe in the Renault from P3. He can win the championship. We are underway, and Kings is going side by side on the McLaren. He's got the inside line. Look at the better start. Mitch is just ahead. A couple of cars running wide at turn 1. Mitch just in front. It's a Williams that jumped up in the P3. Stenner is there. We said Axe might be a bit cautious. He's dropped into P4. Stenner looking very aggressive. Up to P2 is that early on. King's just on the outside, stays ahead, but Stenner up to P3, Axe down to P4, and we've got a spinner. It's Zampa's round at the back.
No.
Oh, Zampa, we jinxed him, we mentioned him in the stream. What's $10 doing? He's up to P12 already. What a start from $10 up to P12. He needs to make a lot of moves, and he's done a lot already. Stenner and Kings now battling again. Mitch still leads. Now Kings is pretty close in behind. And Stenner P3, Axe maintains P4. Haters has got ahead of Ultra Titan as well, off the line. But Zampa, the one who's come off worse there, Max, with a great start for $10 up to P12.
Yeah, all through quite clean. Yeah, not really much to report. And as I say that, it looks
Budweiser.
like the Mercedes of Budweiser.
Yeah, that's in Maggots and
gone off.
Beckett. So he's made it a couple of corners earlier than he did in qualifying when he crashed a couple of times at Cops. But he is round and drops down to the back of the grid. And Senna we're going to go on board with right behind Perex Kings. Good start from Mitch. Got off the line. Probably not as well actually as Kings, but put a good line through turn 1s and then into turn 3 as well. Kept ahead. Axe, you said, was going to be a bit cautious and looked like he didn't make it too difficult for Stenner to get through and just kept in front. Now we've got the usual telemetry issues. DRS is not yet enabled. We're on lap 2 here at Silverstone, round 13 of SSR Tier 1. And let's see what $10 is up to. Looks like he's actually dropped back, possibly. He's currently behind Division, but I think when Zampa rearranges himself on the left-hand side of the screen, he will jump back up to P12. And let's see, in front of him he's got Division, Maestro. And yeah, we see Zampa drops back down to P18 and 10 up to P12. But needs more than that with Axe up in P4. As it stands, Axe wins the drivers and Renault win the constructors early on though. And who's pressurising who right now? Maxim, have you got your eye on?
I'm keeping an eye on Stenner because he's got the pace here. He's really not using a lot of ERS. Not many of these front runners are, to be honest, but they're all following really well.
And we're seeing, just to interrupt there, racing point of Haters. We're going to make the move up the inside of Axe, up the hanger straight. Gets it done on the inside, does the X. He's got to hang it around the outside, bit of contact, I think, just on the front left. We've got a yellow flag in behind. I think Budweiser's off again. We're going to stay on board with Haters, though. We saw them go side by side there. And Axe just maintains the position in front around the outside of Stowe as Budweiser is well and truly off. Let's just check in. Yeah, he is all over the place. Wouldn't surprise me if he falls into the pit lane. Unfortunately, we're seeing the pit stop strategy on your screens at the bottom as Maxim predicted in qualifying. Soft to medium, the optimal strategy is Stenner is just poking his nose in around the outside of the Kings and now down to the Wellington straight, and both of them have got DRS, but Stenner is going to have the better run side by side. Actually, Kings decides he doesn't want to go side by side and Stenner just has to drop back in behind, and then Kings brakes a little bit earlier than Stenner thought he was going to, and Stenner just gave him a little tap in the rear. King stays in front. I think Stenner might have just backed out a little bit of that one. And
not really somewhere you'd expect someone to get on the brakes there around Lovefield.
Yeah, corner we see a lot of different lines there, but yeah, it looks like that King's broke quite early. And let's see though, because Stenner's going to have DRS, and you can see in the top left of your screen, Kings is out of DRS range on TTM Mitch, but Stenner gets it a little bit wrong through Beckett, and isn't going to get a great run. But who is getting a great run is TTM Haters around the outside. This time he's changed his mind on the outside of Axe. But Axe again breaks a little bit later into the corner that I can't remember the name of, Stowe. And and then into... Oh, and then Ultra Titan sends up the inside of Haters. He's trying to help his teammate out, but Haters keeps it in front. And now Titan is under pressure from Monkey. It's really, really close here at the top 10 of this grid. And as soon as you make a move on someone, Max, and it doesn't pay off, then you've got to think about defending from the car behind.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just looking on the mini-map here. These, 18 of these cars are covered by 2 corners. They're really following well, and they're a massive DRS train to help it.
Yeah, good little battle between Charisma and Jet Atom just developing down the back of the grid. Charisma got through, I think, on the Haas driver. But still, as you are up front, Mitch just edging out a little bit, but perhaps not as much as you'd expect, because he's in clean air and the guys behind are battling, and he isn't. And this is his opportunity. As what's happened to 10? 10 looks like he's dropped back a lot of positions here. He's behind Arthur, Charisma, and Jet Atom. He's dropped from P11 to P14. And has he? What's happened to $10 here? Has he lagged out, Max?
Had a bit of a moment at Luffield or Woodcut, I believe. He has lost an end plate.
Oh no!
He's going to have to pit.
He's going to have to pit, and it's going to be difficult to get the hard tyres to the end from there as well. He can probably just do it, but this championship battle that we've hyped up a little bit, it's fair to say. Unfortunately, 10 is not able to bring the challenge to Axe right now, and Axe is going to bring the challenge to Stenner in a minute, because Stenner's dropped off the back of Kings and is struggling to stay in DRS range with the Red Bull, and Axe is very much in DRS range of the Williams. They swap positions at turn 1, and Axe wants that position back. Let's see what run he can get. Stenner does just get DRS, and actually through turn 4 had a much better run, so Axe just has to drop in behind. What have we got? And it just, Maxim, looks like it's spreading out a little bit.
Yep, we've got our little packs forming, which we see quite often. But still, this battle for second, one to keep an eye on. And also Mitch, still not that far out in front.
No, 3-second time penalty for Stenner, which could be crucial. We know he likes a few of those. Seeing a great battle develop here between the Haas of Jet Atom and the Alfa Romeo of SSR Charisma, and GB's getting involved as well right behind that. These guys are real close together, going through Maggots and Beckett's. We saw Jet Atom make a great move around the outside at the end of Wellington Straight. Someone's gone off. Who's that? That's the Haas of CC, whatever his name is. And he's actually gone off and got involved in this battle that we were just talking about. Charisma is now right behind the other Haas driver.
He saw it all kicking off and he wanted in.
Yeah, I can't get his name right. I don't know why. It's on too far away from the screen. Let's see. GB and C. Yeah, you just pronounced his name. Oh, look at this battle. He's in the pits though, the Haas driver. And now GB's getting a little bit fight. Oh, and Zampa has come out of nowhere as we were on board with GB. Sends it up the inside of the AlphaTauri. And then we're just going to wait. Nice. And someone's gone off in the background. Craig Conley has gone off in the background of that. We've had another moment where we've caught a brilliant visual on screen. And we've got Max, I'm pleased to say I've just got another great gift for the Discord server. Because in the background of GB and Zampa's battle, we saw Craig Conley flying off at turn 2. Surprised didn't get safety guy. Looks like he saved it.
He lost a bit of end plate, but Abby, very fast right-hander. If you're running low downforce on the rear wing and you've got hot tyres, you're going around, unfortunately.
Yeah, it can be very difficult to get through there 26 times out of 26. Ultra Titan's still behind Haters, who's just still behind Axe, who's just still behind Stenner, who's just still behind Payox Kings. These guys are in a bit of a DRS train right now. Seems to me every time we look at them, one's just a bit closer to the other. They're just sort of exchanging good lap times here. A bit of a DRS train, like we say. I wonder if an early pit stop from one of them might just trigger something different at the minute. They're all just sat a little bit, the top 7, in a bit of a train right now.
Yeah, definitely. And still, I think Mitch would like a bit more of a gap, but he is managing his ERS as well. He's got 90%, while the others behind have about 70, and then Axe has a lot as well. Stenner's gone around, and Stenner's lost it.
Oh yeah, we see him there on the inside. You can just see him, guys, on the left hand side of the screen through the standings. There you can see him. Great visual there from the onboard of SSR Charisma. And Stenner, who is running in P3, was down to P15. Oh, it's gutting for the Williams driver. And great news for the Renault driver of Axe in his pursuit of the driver's title. And he's given a free position. And were you on board with that, Max? Do you see what happened there?
just a bit trigger happy on the power. He obviously he's turned off assists this season, and he's really persevering with it. So fair enough to him. He's sticking with it. He knows he's quick with it, but it's just those little moments where he lacks that composure in a racing environment where a little slip of the finger and it bites, unfortunately.
Yeah, we have seen that happen a few times this season. We mentioned his brilliant pole position in the Netherlands, as we're going to see Jet Atom and Charisma resume this battle around the outside of Stowe. Charisma looked around the outside, or sorry, defended the outside, and now Jet Atom's going to have a look around the outside here. Never any room there, that's for sure. Looks for a bit of a switchback. It's very difficult to overtake here. He's going to have another run into turn one, though. Zampa on the soft tyres looking a bit interested behind. Jet just has to back off a little bit, didn't fancy it understandably into turn one. And he's going to get DRS in a minute. And let's see what he can do. Charisma heavy on the brakes there. Jet's going to get a really good run down the Wellington Straight. This shouldn't be a particularly difficult move. And let's see from the broadcast view as we see Jet up the inside, and he's ahead before the corner. It goes a little bit wide though, and Charisma swoops back through and then locks up heavily at the hairpin. Zampa's right involved in this battle as well now on the soft tyres. Titan with a 3-second time penalty. But these guys having a really good battle at the bottom end of the points.
Yep, always good fun to watch Charisma. He races in real life. He knows what he's doing. Smart guy, great kid. Great to watch.
Yeah, always good value, whether he's on the track or off the track as well. To be fair to him, as
Zampa,
Axe pits on lap 8. That and 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane from Axe.
Axe,
so he's gone for the strategic gamble, and it's going to cost him. He won't be able to serve it at this pit stop, so it's going to get added onto his time at the end, assuming he doesn't make another stop. Let's go on board and see what tyres. Monkey's in as well behind in the Williams. Medium tyres.
Should be the...
Yeah, wow, that 17 laps. Yeah, it's going to be just about. But yeah, he's going to need a good outlap because he doesn't want to be stuck behind these guys. He was stuck behind with a 5-second time penalty, that's for sure. Let's stay on board and see if he comes out behind anyone. Could hold him up. No one on the mini map that's going to hold him up. Long pit stop here at Silverstone. But Axe is in clean air on the medium tyres, and he's got not only a bit of an undercut to make up, he's also got a 5-second time penalty to make up as well. And at the bottom of the screens there, you would have seen CK FFC get the fastest lap. If $10 doesn't get the fastest lap tonight, Axe will win that as well. So Axe could be trying to go home tonight with 3 trophies, which is going to be a difficult job to carry them all, that's for sure. But he could win all 3 tonight. Obviously Ultra Titan, the other Renault driver who might be celebrating at the end of this race, will of course speak to both of them at the end if they do end up winning that. But we're going on back on board with a Ferrari of Zampa, who gives up at the end of Beckett's, and at the start of the Hangar Straight just decides he's going to cut that corner. But only one of the drivers were out of penalty right now. Surprisingly, as Mitch is just Maxim starting to extend his lead a little bit. I think that might be in part down to King's pitting behind him.
Yeah, he's found a bit of pace in this last bit of soft rubber he's got. Something that might actually pay off, to be honest. So it is a long stop.
Guys, keep an eye on the bottom right of your screen. You can see Kings is slowly making his way out of the pit lane. Axe is bombing his way down the front straight, and Axe is going to swoop round turn 1 here. Where is Payox Kings? Cannot see him, and Axe has jumped him quite comfortably as well. Axe jumps Kings at the pit stops strategy, and that puts Mitch under a bit of pressure then. We've seen the undercut there work really well. 2-second gap already between Axe and Kings. That's a great move from Axe there on the pit stops.
Yeah, madness, to be honest. Yes, Kings will have a bit more life at the end in the tyre, but yeah, that has paid off there. But it needs to create that gap now. Kings having no penalties at all. He will jump him.
Yeah, and we're seeing the guys who started on the mediums. Division is in a great spot right now. He's in clean air, 5 seconds to P2 in front of him. Jet Atom is 8 seconds behind, so he can look after those tyres, look after his pace, and he's going to be good. Yeah, battle between Charisma and Jet Atom is heating up yet again. Jet Atom up the inside, Charisma around the outside, and this time Charisma has to let Jet go. What a battle these two are having.
Yeah, Jet Atom left only the smallest of gaps there for Charisma, but charging on their mediums.
Yeah, let's keep an eye then back on Axe, because Mitch has had his pit stop. He's now slowly coming out of the pit lane. He looks a little bit further in front. Axe, fastest lap of the race. Mitch is still not out of the pit lane. This is going to be close, and Axe is going to take him, is he? They're going to be side by side out of the pit lane. Mitch on the outside, but Axe is through, and he's undercut both drivers in front of him. And Axe is into the net lead of this race through a brilliant pit stop strategy. Remember, he picked up a 5-second time penalty for speeding in that pit lane, but now he's in clean air. That's not going to bother him. He can make up that 5 seconds on the track. Great strategy call from Axe, and he's in P6, but effectively leads this race. Wow, didn't see that coming.
No, not at all. Stunner's still going on with those softs. Praying for a safety car, I imagine.
Yeah, that
Didn't get any damage on his spin, but he will drop down the order when he does pit.
We've got a safety car. Not a safety car, yellow flag, and that is Arthur. Oh, and 10. Oh, sorry, Zampa. Arthur was ghosted in front of him out on the exit the hairpin, and as Zampa went to go through him, he no longer was ghosted.
Wow.
So good reactions from Zampa there to get ahead of the Alfa Romeo. Arthur not had the greatest of Tier 1 races tonight, as Mitch picks up a 3-second time penalty, which could be crucial come the end of the race. It's still pressurising Axe though, and we'll have DRS this lap as Conley gets a 3-second penalty. What are we seeing from your end, Max?
I'm seeing Arthur being very aggressive on Zampa. Elbows out at what corner is that? Stowe.
Yeah, it's
Giving a bit
Stowe
of a
into
nudge
Vale
off
there.
the circuit. Aggressive stuff for a reserve driver. That is what I was saying.
Yeah, Ferrari were in very outside contention with the constructors still, but Zampa P15, Talladors P17, fair to say they are very much out of contention now for that. So very much a straight fight between Racing Point and Renault, but even that is looking a little bit unlikely as Zampa just squeezes Arthur a little bit, nothing too much, and comfortably breezes back past. And Arthur very late on the brakes at the end of the Wellington Straight. He's taking a few interesting lines there as and then spins. That's an interesting line from Arthur, and a nice reset to track.
Reset to track on stream.
Very much in 4K from Arthur there, which I don't think will be. I'm just gonna actually I can't record that. Can well, it's on stream, so it doesn't matter. But yeah, come on, Arthur. You're representing Tier 2 as Stenner 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Wonder if he might call it a day. Like you say, was waiting for the safety car that never came, but still in the race from what we can see. Let's focus our intent. Oh, Max, we've made an absolute error here, because whilst we were focused on Arthur, the McLaren of Mitch has jumped Axe.
Oh,
and neither of us have seen it. And
fresh rubber, a little bit fresher rubber. That's what the move done.
Yeah, I'm sure it was a great move. I can't talk you through it because I have no idea when or where it happened, but that's big news. Let's check in on the penalties whilst we're looking at these guys. Budweiser has span at cops for possibly the 4th time this evening. But yeah, Mitch with 3 seconds penalties, Max with 5 from the pit lane incident, and Kings and Haters right behind them, no penalties. So those two still very much in contention here and very close together on the track. So don't discount the Red Bull or the Racing Point. Titan is still there with 3 seconds worth of penalties, Monkey as well. So the net top 6 are separated by no more than 6 seconds here. It's actually probably less than that, I'm pretty sure. Monkey just a little bit behind. This Hater's going to get a run on Kings. I think he's just a little bit too far back. Same with Axe on Mitch. And
Ultra's right on Hater's gearbox.
Yeah, this DRS train, as Budweiser retires in the pit lane, this DRS train has really just continued. Oh, Titan! Oh, don't! Yeah, probably should let him back through there for me, Titan.
Oh dear.
Probably should let him through. Haters is gonna have a bit of a run. Titan, we saw, just nudged Haters through Vale, and that got the Racing Point all out of shape, which allowed Titan to go through. But for me, there, the contact caused by Ultra Titan got him the overtake. For me, probably should let him back through, but it doesn't look like he has any intention of doing so there, Max. I don't know what you thought of that one.
Well, I mean, he'll get him here, but should have been a bit earlier, I reckon. Yeah, not ideal, but stewards will take a look at that, I imagine.
Yeah, it does get back through, like you said, Haters, which might mitigate any penalty, but certainly didn't get back through any actions of Ultra Titan. Just the DRS of the Racing Point gets him back through, but has created a bit of a gap to Payox Kings in front. So Haters will be a little bit annoyed about that. Axe still very much there with Mitch, but what about our top 4 guys on 13 lap old mediums? When are we expecting them in? Another couple of laps?
Probably, yeah, 16, 17. Maybe you could even go this lap, to be honest.
Yeah, all on the medium
Just gonna
tyres. We
show-
saw Axe did, I think, 8 laps before he pit. But obviously Mitch did a couple of laps more than that. So yeah, I mean, if they went onto a soft now, I think they'd quite comfortably get to the end. And we're seeing that Mitch has caught up to the back of GB Sanderson. So this is a battle for P4 that Mitch doesn't really want to have. He's on much fresher tyres. He's going to get DRS in a minute, but obviously it's bringing Axe right into play, right behind him. So Mitch wants to clear GB here and then leave Axe in his wake. See if he can do it. We're on board with a Renault as Mitch sends it up the inside, and yeah, now GB's going to sit in between our 2 race leaders, or our battle for the race lead, I should say, and now it's going to work out well for McLaren because Axe is going to surely have to sit behind GB through Cops, or is he going to send it up the inside?
Ooh.
He does. Great move from Axe. GB lets it happen, doesn't fight it too much, quite sensibly, but good move from Axe. GB certainly didn't make it particularly easy. It's never easy to overtake up the inside of Cops, that's for sure. Axe gets it done, crucially stays within DRS range of the McLaren in front.
Yeah, it's a risky one, but committed. GB sort of playing disruptor a bit, so that's tasty.
Yeah,
But,
both
yeah.
both the Jet Atom of Haas Jet Atom and who's that round? Who is that round?
Maestro's
That's
off
the
at
Renault of
Beckett.
Maestro, or AlphaTauri of Maestro. Unfortunately for him. So Jet Atom and Charisma are in. They're going to go onto soft tyres, and their battle, by the way, has been 16 laps long, and it's going to continue on the soft tyres, which is going to be fascinating. Great race from them, but they're going to be really quick. Let's see where they come out. I think they're going to come out in a real nice bit of clean air here, possibly as well. If they can get out ahead of Zampa, Max, then they're going to be rapid from P10
Yeah.
to P11.
Definitely.
close, though.
They'll be chasing those points for sure.
Oh, and Zampa gets right in the middle of that battle, right in the middle of Jet Atom and Charisma. So that's great
Wow.
news for Jet Atom, who is in front of Zampa and has 10 seconds worth of clean air to run away. Charisma's going to have to get past Zampa on the soft tyres. So we'll keep an eye on that, but also keep an eye on this battle that is forming. GB is still a part of. He's now in between Axe and Kings. GB we think is going to pit in a minute. Who's just gone round?
Arthur at the
Arthur.
loop.
So hopefully he didn't reset the track. But it's
Not
actually a
bad,
McLaren 1-2 right now, and I can only say that for the next 20 seconds or so as Division pits and just about gets under the necessary speed. But this is again going to be interesting. Division was much further up the road than Jet Atom. So Division's going to be right on the bumper of CKFFC when he comes out on those fresh softs. So let's we'll keep an eye on Division's progress over the next 7 or 8 laps or so as GB pits as well.
Long
But
bit.
yeah, Division on the fresh softs could have a good 9 laps in store here.
Yeah, feels like forever this pit lane. Obviously a very slow limit because you
It's
cut out 2 of the last
So
corners,
slow,
but
isn't it?
it feels like an absolute ice age.
But if Division gets out ahead of CK, he is in prime position, and he does. So Division then,
Nice.
7 seconds of clean air on the fresh softs is going to be rapid. He's got to be looking possibly at a podium here. We'll check penalties again. Division on 3, yeah, so Axe with the most penalties out of the top 10, 5 seconds. Everyone else with a penalty is only on 3. Tom, we'll check, possibly check ones at the end. We're just going to focus on these guys for a second, but thanks for checking out the stream. One of our tier 2 drivers. And probably, I think, cheering on Arthur and Axe, who I think he's good friends with. And Axe doing what he needs to do in P2 right now, as Titan picks up another penalty up to 6 seconds, but right behind Haters. And he's got a much better run than Haters. We're going to see the Renault up the inside into Stowe, and he gets it done just about. Haters on the outside, but Titan broke so much later than the racing point there. Great move from the Renault. We see often when you try and make a move there, they go on the outside, has so much more speed, and Hater spins. Oh, he gets trigger happy. He's going to do well to stay out the barrier. Just about stays out the barrier, but Haters is round. Just tried to get on the accelerator a bit too early in order to keep behind Titan, and he goes round. I tell you what, we've caught a few spins. We've caught a few spins tonight.
Definitely. Good battle here between Grisma and Stenner on different rubber. But tasty.
More yellow. I think Haters has gone round again, has he? Yeah,
Arthur's
Haters is round again.
Cops. Haters lost it at Abbey.
Oh, Stenner just breaks a touch later than Charisma, but avoids trouble. So, I think, and listen, I don't want to jinx anything, but I think I can quite comfortably say that we can crown Axe as champion right now, and Renault as Constructors champions. As Arthur retires on the track, who can pick that up? Virtual safety car.
VSC.
Who's going to come up to him right now? It's going to be the top guys, I think. Are they? Where are they? Where are we? What's going on?
He's disappeared now, but if you get on, well, yeah, his
Yeah,
car's
Hangar Straight,
gone,
wasn't it?
Yeah, just off to the right.
Well, that's
the
not gone well
barrier
for
turns
him.
red.
Virtual safety car. I'll tell you what, a safety car would have possibly made me would have made me eat my words a little bit there. We were just 8 laps too early, crowning champions. But a virtual safety car just neutralises the race. No one's going to pit because everyone's made their pit stops. I'll tell you what, if that came a lap earlier, Division would have been in.
Yeah.
But he's still got a chance. But actually, it just holds up his progress a little bit as the virtual safety car is still going on, and it ends now. No one with a drive-through penalty, luckily. But yeah, Division has 7 laps to make progress on those softs. Axe is right behind TTM Mitch right now. Oh, and then almost loses it. Possibly looked a little bit worse on the stream. It was for Axe. When Axe actually gets a great run still. Going to have a little look up the inside of the McLaren. Mitch on the outside. Not a lot of room for Axe, but he gets enough room. And Mitch almost loses it. Axe almost loses it. They're going to be side by side. And Axe is now in front. It's a little bit messy.
Axe just made it.
But he gets
sick.
it done.
It's very reminiscent of Lewis Hamilton and Bottas a couple of years back, battling at Brooklands.
Yeah, the 29. That was a hell of a race, wasn't it? The Ferraris and Red Bulls as well. Hopefully, we don't get any Sebastian Vettel moments into the rear of Verstappen into Vale. But great move from Axe. Thought he was a little bit too far back, but Mitch, fair play to him, gave him the room, and now he's going to try and come back at the Renault driver. And we always see, or not always, but often when Hamilton wins a championship, Max, he always seems to do it outside the podium. I know he finished on the podium in Turkey, but I feel like we see him a lot in Mexico. Finishes like P7 and wins the championship. I feel like if you're going to do it with at least a podium is certainly the way to go. Which obviously Axe looks on course for here, and he's having a really good battle for the win. So it'll be good to speak to him hopefully, and he's looking very good right now, but as always, driven a very good race. And Aero has subscribed for 2 months. Thank you very much, Aero. One of our, or is our RPL, Realistic Performance League commentator, and does a very good job from what I've been told. Not that I haven't been checking out the streams, but from what other
he's
people...
good, he's a top lad.
Good stuff.
Ultra Titan right on King's gearbox coming up to Cops. One of my favourite corners on the calendar. 8th gear, flat. Maybe not in dirty air for Ultra Titan. Have a great run onto the what's it called? Hangar Straight, the old Bomber Straight. Back when this was a World War II base. There we go. Breezes past like a Lancaster bomber.
Yeah, up into the podium positions though. Kings without a penalty. Titan with 6 seconds. Just needs to hang on to the back of the Renault, and he'll be back on the podium. But good move from Titan, who was well, he's obviously escaped haters' clutches since the Racing Point spin, and Division pushing a bit too much, picks up a penalty on those soft tyres.
Yep, all fairly spread out. Monkey's done pretty well, in my opinion. He's gone a bit under the radar, but
Yeah, let's have a look at position changes. And in my short absence, I've forgotten to do that. There we go. Yeah, Monkey up 4, Division up 6. So both the Dutch guys have made up good positions from the qualifying spots. Jet up 5. Looks like Division probably going to be our driver of the day. But yeah, good driving from both these guys to make up. And like you say, a very quiet race because well, up until a couple of laps ago, he was on the tails of the top 4. He's just dropped off a little bit. But certainly looking good for a top 5 right now.
yep.
And what have we got then?
Hopefully
Mitch.
these medium sauce.
Mitch is all over the back of Axe again. This is going to be a 5-lap battle for the win here. Axe doesn't need to win, but he's going to want to. That is for sure. I know that for a fact. And we're going to check out the fastest lap very quickly as well. I think, actually I can't remember who's got it. But currently is Maestro. $10 needs that fastest lap. Otherwise Axe is going to collect a haul of trophies tonight. That I'm sure he'll be very happy about. But yeah, one to keep an eye on. I think 10 is going to need to, well, he's going to need to pit onto the softs, isn't he? Which we might see him do because he's down in P15. He's got nothing to lose right now. So keep an eye on 10 and his tyres. We're going to keep an eye on Mitch and his battle for the win. And Mitch has driven superbly tonight, Maxim.
Yep, very nice. Managed to race well. Nothing too crazy. Just the one penalty as of now.
Yeah,
Which is pretty good going around here. It's
Yeah.
tempting to drift a bit wide out the lines, especially at Cops coming up to here.
Yeah, for me, I pick up a warning every lap at Stowe, end of a hanger straight. I just can't seem to stay on the inside of that curb on the exit as Mitch is getting a really good run through Maggots and Beckett's here, and then Axe at the end of Beckett's gets a little better. Let's see how powerful the DRS is up the hanger straight, and Axe is seemed to maintain a real good speed there. Mitch a little bit later on the brakes. But Axe didn't seem to lose much ground there in the DRS. Wonder if he was just using a little bit more of the ERS or fuel modes, which we can't see. But Mitch will have a couple more goes at that for sure. And that is our battle at the minute. And Kings and Titan are having the battle for the final position on the podium. But again, whatever happens in this battle, Titan almost certainly will be celebrating tonight as well, because Renault are on course to win the Constructors title as well. And Titan obviously promoted Maxim from Tier 2 last year. He's had a very good season as well.
Yep, driven well. Just rock solid. Where's the last race for Tier 1? Do you know?
Canada.
Canada?
Oh, do you mean last race of the season?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I think they've got Hungary next week, and then I can't remember. I thought you meant last
That'll be
week's
it,
race.
won't it? Just the one more to go, isn't there?
2 races to go after tonight.
Oh.
2 races
Early.
to go.
Kings gaining on Ultra. Bit of breeze past here into Stowe.
Yeah, going to go up the inside,
Yeah.
and with the lack of penalties for Kings, he's looking good for P3 right now, and came P2 in the standings last season. Did Kings, and to be fair to him, he's in P3 right now, despite having a pretty quiet season compared to last year's standards. But a bit similar to 10, he's just always there.
Mm-hmm.
and fair play to him. He's probably disappointed. I don't think he's actually won a race this year. No, he hasn't. But plenty of podiums. But Kings will be disappointed. I know he probably would have wanted to battle a little bit closer for the championship. But a good season from the Red Bull driver as well. Mitch, we know, got pole in Baku, but he's yet to win a race this season, so he's going to be gunning for this win off Axe. We're going to check in with the penalties once more, and Mitch with 3 and Axe with 5. So right now Mitch is going to win the race. Let's check in on the warnings like Tom suggested, and Mitch has picked up 1 since his penalty. Axe is on 1 warning as well, so both looking good, and King's on 1 as well. So the top 3, I'd be surprised if any of them picked up a further penalty. So we've got a yellow flag.
Stenner's off.
Stenner off again, and looks like a big one into Woodcourt around the exit of Luffield as Haters gets a little bit out of shape going through him. But what we've got to keep an eye on as well is Axe with a 5-second penalty brings Kings right back into play for P2 here. So Axe might drop down to P3, which isn't going to bother him too much. Well, it might bother him a little bit, but for the championship won't change anything. But King's looking good for a potential P2. He's only a second off the win right now as well.
Yeah, got a banging a couple of quali laps here. Is it 1 lap to go or 2?
2 laps to go. $10 has strapped on the soft tyres, by the way, but is right behind Maestro, so he needs to clear Maestro. King's picked up a penalty. Where did that come from?
He'll be kicking himself.
He only had 1 warning 30 seconds ago. Oh, Kings. Pushing too hard. But you said quali laps, and he was just pushing it a little bit too hard, unfortunately. So that drops him out of contention for the win. Still should be good enough for the podium because Ultra Titan has 6 seconds worth of penalties. But guys, keep an eye on $10. He's weaving right now. He's creating space. We're talking about quali laps. $10 is giving himself room behind Maestro to bang in a quali lap here, because if he gets fastest lap, then that means that battle, that championship, carries on to next week in Hungary. So keep an eye on $10 here on the second to last lap, because if he can put in a lap that is faster than anyone else has managed, then that keeps that one alive. And Mitch has got Axe. Oh, I've missed it again. Oh, I don't believe it.
I'll stay on board with 10.
Stay on board with 10. I don't believe I've missed Mitch's move for the lead twice. That is shocking for me. I've caught every spin tonight, but I've missed both overtakes for the lead. Guys, sorry about that. But Mitch does take the lead again. We're on to the last lap of this race. We said Mitch hasn't won yet in SSR. He's looking good for it tonight. Axe is looking very, very good for the Drivers' Championship. What a season. He has had 5 wins, 5 fastest laps, and 2 pole positions for Axe this season. He's had some very, very good drives as well from the back of the grid. And as 10 picks up a 3-second time penalty, which won't let him get the fastest lap on this go around. So he's going to have another go at it. You can't get the fastest lap if you get a time penalty in the same lap. So we'll keep an eye on that. Keep an eye on that for us, Maxim. But this is the battle for the lead. Axe is 5 tenths off. Mitch has got less penalties. So Mitch is almost certainly going to win this race. Axe is almost certainly going to win the championship. Renault are almost certainly going to win the Constructors' Championship. And all that is left to be decided is the fastest lap battle as well. We're going to see Axe gain and gain and gain on TTM Mitch. Doesn't get enough, but Mitch is going to win this race. Axe is going to come second, but he's going to win the championship. That is for sure. They're going to cross the line in just a second. Mitch wins in Silverstone. Axe wins the championship. Great stuff from him. Well done to Axe. And Titan crosses the line ahead of Kings, but King gets him back on penalties. But nice. Titan is the Constructors winner alongside Axe. Great job from the Renault drivers. Monkey crossed the line in P5 division. Didn't make as much progress as he would have wanted on those soft tyres, but P6. Great debut from CKFFC. First time I've got his name right all night in P7. Jet Atom had a great battle with Charisma from a lot of the race. Then got the jump at the pit stops and gets P8. Zampa P9. Great recovery from his spin. And P10 is Charisma. He's P10. Zampa was P9. Haters P11. We saw him spin just behind Titan a few laps ago. GB. Great stuff from GB to get himself a point. he'll be happy with that in Tier 1. Well done to him. And Maxim, what's $10 saying right now?
$10 did get the fastest lap on his last lap, despite getting actually 2 penalties. But
Let's see if we can do it again. I don't think it.
even on this,
Yeah, I think he got. I think he would have done it on that lap. I don't think the game lets you get it, but I think he would have done enough on that second lap as well. But we'll keep an eye on that. But what we can say for certain is that Axe has won the drivers, and great to see C Murph in the chat saying congratulations to Axe for taking my title. ABR Murphy or C Murphy in the chat won our inaugural Season 1 Tier 1 Championship, and that has been passed on to Axe this year. Hopefully we can see those two battle it out next season, because that would be great to see. But Axe takes the title. We're going to speak to him and all the guys in a minute. We'll get the top 4 in so that we can speak to Ultra Titan as well. And you know what? I'm going to get $10 in as well. I'm not sure he might not want to, but I think those two have had a great battle this season. I think it would be good to speak to him. So let's invite all these guys.
He has it.
Cool, guys. Make sure you tick the box when you join. Maxim, do you want to speak to Kings when he joins? P3.
Always.
And have a chat with Ultra Titan as well, maybe, if he comes in.
Yeah. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Shalom.
Make sure you tick the box, guys. Well done. And wow, Maxim's going to do that. But we're just actually going to wait. Here's Ultra Titan, and obviously it's our drivers champion that's keeping us waiting. But Maxim, go ahead and speak to Kings if you like, and we'll get Axel.
So we're on board with UTN, and you picked up a penalty at the end. Were you just like pushing a bit too hard? Did you think you could finish a bit higher up, or what were you thinking there?
No, it was just a mistake.
Yeah. Not too bad. Not too bad of a result. The championship's obviously done now, but next season, do you think you'll be back in the hunt? Gonna win? Yeah, rapid.
And we finally got him in as well, which is great. We've gotten 10 in as well. Obviously 10, not the race you would have wanted tonight, but you did manage to keep the fastest lap championship going at the end there. But just talk us through your season really and your battle with Axe, which has obviously come to an end tonight. Just couldn't catch him in the end in the championship.
Yeah, he had really good season. Those battles, but he's got rapid pace, so yeah, he deserves it.
Yeah, it was 10, great step up from Tier 2 last season. Great season, and you and Kings are obviously going to have probably not the battle you wanted, but a good battle for P2 in the championship nonetheless. So we'll look forward to that last couple of races. And Mitch, first win of the season in SSR tonight, and from pole as well. So really good evening for you. Just talk us through that battle with Axe tonight.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I mean, it was a struggle for me to make it to this race in the first place, so I didn't really have any practice. I wasn't very confident around here, to be honest. So, I mean, I was pretty happy with qualifying. I knew I'm a Reese or Kings. I know Kings on pad, so I was always wary of him at the start, and I always knew Axe was just as quick, if not a lot quicker than me. So I wasn't really getting ahead of myself after that. And then seeing Axe to lap 9, I thought it was a bit early, so I just thought he's gonna get the undercut anyways. I might as well get the fresher tires and see if I can come back at him. And then last two, I just once he overtook me the second time, I just sat behind him, saved a little bit of ERS, and launched an attack. And it looked like he was struggling for the last couple of laps or so, tire wise. But yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, very, very good drive, and I will admit that I did miss both overtakes on Axe on the stream, so I do apologise a lot for that. But a very, very good drive, so well done. And we've got Ultra Titan in here as well. P4 tonight, but obviously his big news is that alongside Axe, they have won the constructors title. So Ultra, great season, good race tonight, good battle with Kings. Talk us through that, and obviously congratulations on the constructors.
Let's go, Axe! Oh, it's just fun for doing it in Britain because I haven't driven this truck in months, so it's just nice to be able to be at the top again. And also after messing around in Canada, spinning it in Italy, it's just nice to still be up ahead. So it's great to have Axe as my teammate. He's always hounding everyone. It's just amazing to have someone so quick as a teammate. But yeah, it does make me feel inferior sometimes, but that's the way we learn.
Yeah, but as a team, you've won the constructors. You're obviously up there as well in the P7, I think, in the drivers at the minute. So you've had a good season, P6 now. So a good step up from Tier 2, and they've helped Renault win the constructors. So well done to you. And last but very much not least, Axe, Tier 1 champion, great season, really good battle with Mitch tonight, and normally you actually come up on top of those, but tonight Mitch just pipped you. But just talk us through the race and obviously the season as a whole. Tier 1 champion.
It's been a lot of fun, and it was fun to come down to another close battle in the end. Obviously not against the 110 with 10, which I would have preferred. Sorry, Mitch. I would have preferred battling 10. But yeah, just got a speeding penalty going 1 mile an hour too fast, and then unfortunately just couldn't gap Mitch enough when I was in front of him. So we kind of just trained each other back and forth. It was really fun, and just make sure to keep it on track and get it to the end. Obviously, championship feels really nice after fighting for it all season, and really haven't had many mishaps this one. So it's really nice to be rewarded.
You've driven very well. I'm not sure how good your memory is, but do you have a favourite race of the season?
Oh, I don't know.
No, I know. I've definitely watched you come from the back of the grid a couple of times, which has been a lot of fun. I think China was one I might remember quite well.
I'm
Go
thinking,
for him.
yes, China Spa was fun. We had a big party for that one, and then Bahrain as well, where I went back to front. So those are probably my top 3 this season.
Cool. Yeah, it's been a lot of fun to watch all of you guys. To be honest, it's nice to learn a few things. But Tier 1, thank you very much for coming and chatting with us. Axe, well done your driver's title. Still got the fastest lap battle with 10 to continue the last couple of races. Titan, well done on the constructors as well, and the rest of you, well done on your win. Mitch, Podium Kings, and a great season, $10 whole. And Maxim, thank you very much for joining me in the comms booth. But guys, that's been round 13 of Tier 1. Thanks very much for watching, and we will see you tomorrow with Tier 2, where I believe Cool Kyoga can win that championship. So tune in for that, and we will see you next week for Tier 1. Cheers guys, see you later.
Ciao.